Okie dokie, there we go. So real quick, this is the last week we're going to be reviewing what have we been talking about all month? What month has it been in karate class? Anybody remember?
Attitude.
Thank you for raising your hands. Attitude, that's right. Anybody remember our definition of attitude? I know Abiram does. Abiram's done it a bunch of times. Autumn, what is it?
The way you behave and view the world around you.
That's right. That's right. We talked about all different parts of it, attitude and perspective and things like that. Can you guys tell me a situation where you've shown a good attitude even when it was hard recently? Can anybody? Give me a situation where they did. Sai. What?
When I get angry, I usually hang out with my friends until I cool off.
Okay, now how did you hang out with your friends?
6 feet away.
So you go and hang with your friends 10 feet apart?
No, 6.
6 feet apart.
Hmm?
How do you guys do not hang with your friends at all? Until the governor says otherwise. Anybody else shown? Here's a question. I see a bunch of you with your siblings.
I don't have siblings.
Is it easy or hard? Some of you don't have siblings, I know. Is it easy or hard to keep your cool when your siblings are doing stuff like climbing on your back in the middle of karate class?
No.
It's harder, right? I had somebody ask, or giving piggyback rides. Now that he does not have stitches in his head, does he? You do. So I don't think that a piggyback ride from your sister is a particularly smart move unless you want stitches in other places too. So I guess the point is that we're all living in very close proximity. I had one of our neighbors asked us today if it was difficult with all of my kids home and stuff like that. And what I realized was I think we're all a little bit more patient because we know that sometimes we're going to get on each other's nerves, right? And that requires a good attitude. So now before we start, I sent out an email. I got some things I want to work on at the beginning, but I'm having trouble finding games that we can play. Like, you guys want to play the frog game?
Yeah.
Yeah, me
No,
too.
sir.
It's really going to work. You want me to roll a ball back and forth in here?
Yeah. No. We can't play the frog game.
Yeah, I'm thinking the O'Donnells are going to come back and their faces are going to be pushed up like this. Yeah. So can anybody think of a game that we can play like this right now? We played Sensei Says, and we can do that. Abiram, what else?
Freeze game, I think we can, but we can play Sensei Says.
We can try the freeze game. That's a pretty good idea. We'll see. What about you, Keegan? You had something you thought we could do. No, you changed your mind? Autumn and Kip and Cass. Autumn is doing fine. She's getting mugged. In most places, she could call a police officer and throw somebody in jail for that. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to do what I normally do, which is I'm going to take the whole screen.
Ask if Coughlin thinks we can play add-on.
I like that idea, too.
What's add-on?
We'll try. I want to do my part, and then we'll do the freeze game. Does anybody have any techniques they want to work on? We had night set before.
Tiger set.
Tiger set. Sorry, are you doing the next class?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yes, sir.
We'll do that in the next class. I'm doing that in the next class. Okay, so I'm going to mute you all because you're a bunch of chatterboxes.
No. Don't.
Shush, and don't unmute yourselves. Okay, time to get started. And you guys see all these white spots? We've been actually taking tape measures and we've been mapping out places where when we're allowed to open the doors for you guys again, where we can keep people safe and working on procedures for when that's going to be, how to do that and make sure everybody's safe. So everybody face here, feet together. Attention, slap. Kunye. Ow. Good. Make good fists again. Step up with your left foot, step out like this, and I'm going to center up. Good. Okay. We're going to do jumping jacks. We've been doing it in the 40s. I think we're getting more strong. So we're going to do 51 jumping jacks. That's 5-1. Okay? So we'll count together. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, keep going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, and 1. Very good. Okay, let's shake our wrist out. Shake, 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 shake. Shake them up high. Shake them down low. Good. Now big shoulder circles forward. Keep moving. I'm going to give this to Mr. Z. We got to keep attendance. That's what I
have my attendance sheet here.
Do you cross it? Do you put it back on there? Good. That's fine. Now backwards. We're going to run out anyway, right? Good. Now across like this. Across, 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 across. Oh, I feel that. I lifted a lot of weight yesterday and it hurts. Good. Okay, put your knuckles in front. Let's twist. Twisting. Good. Okay. Hands on our hips, hips side to side. We're working from the top down, although our wrists are down. Good, forward and backward. Good, put your feet together a little closer, hip circles one way. And now the other way. Good, and now put our feet all the way together, knees right like this, and we're gonna move our knees sideways. So see if they're bent a little bit like this, and I'm gonna move them in circles. Good, one direction.
Shiloh, is your puppy trying to do karate today?
Uh-oh, we gotta get another belt for the Rain family. Now the other way. Good, okay. Now, from here, reach up as high as you can, right? So from here, and then I like to spread my feet apart just a little bit. Now push your hands out and hang down. I'm getting closer. I hadn't stretched enough before this started. Good, up one more time. As high as you can, push your arms straight. Grab one wrist and pull. And then up and down. Good, okay, let's take that butterfly stretch. Here we go. Oh, it was really nice weather today. It looks like the weather may be getting better. It was icky on Sunday. It was kind of cold yesterday too. Ooh, that feels good. Good, okay, this is similar. We put our feet straight out like this and reaching down. Getting farther and farther and farther, closer to my toes. Back to butterfly one more time. And then we're gonna go right to straddle stretch because we already did some of that long muscles in the back. Get them closer. My knees are getting closer to the floor too. Good, okay, let's go to straddle. Wide, wide, wide. Good, both hands down to our left. Like this. There we go. Now sliding over to our right. Back to the left one more time. And to the right. Good, okay, down the middle, push your hands out towards me as far as you can. I'm gonna get my legs a little wider. Like that. Good, okay, we're gonna count. And again, I hold the fingers up everywhere. We're gonna say it together. Say, Hana, Tu, say, head towards me. Ne, Taso, Yaso, Yugo, Yudo, Aho, and and yo. Good. Okay, let's bring our feet back together. Stand up, turn around, fix our uniforms. Hold on, turn back, round attention. Good face here. Cheerio. Can you bow? Say 감사합니다. Tongsu. Good. Okay. So everybody, we're going to step out in ready position. I want to work on some basics. So from here, hands up like this, pick up this foot, step out like this. Okay, one of the things, it's funny, we're going to start off with some blocking, but I want to do techniques that incorporate the 3 basic stances, okay? Remember, front stance, long and deep, if you look at it from the side, long and deep like that, like we use in basic block set, right? And then I also want to do fighting stance, which is different. It's got all my weight on my back leg, and this one, I've got more weight on my front leg than my back leg here. Fighting stance, and then finally horse stance. And again, remember, my feet aren't out like that. I square my feet up like that. So you can also use, if you want, hold on a second. I don't have any pillows here. I've got these, right? But a pillow, something that's square-ish or rectangular-ish, is always a good reminder when you work on these things, because one of the things that's really good about this opportunity for us to train together, because we're not trying to cover huge amounts of distances, we generally see people, like if they start off and they do low block, step out like this. And that's not a front stance. A front stance is like this. So my feet are wide. So if I had this in front of me, you don't have to use this, but even if you're not using one, you need to think about it. If I had this in front of me and I stepped out to do low block and I did the first one, I'd be on top of it. I need to be able to see the entire pillow or target between my feet, okay? So I'll leave it here for a couple. We're gonna start off with a low block. Good, and again, one of the other things is I love star block because it teaches us the blocks and it's a lot of fun. But star block really doesn't use chambers. Remember, we start up like that, but what we should be doing is chambering like this, right? We do in, right? So we go up, we go in. That should be like this. We go from here, we go out. That should be like that. We go down like that. So we're going to use 2 arm chambers. We're going to step forward. We're going to do the same side 5 times, right? The same side 5 times. We'll do 2 with a front stance. We'll do 1 with a fighting stance and 1 with a horse stance, okay? So from here, chambering like this. Now this foot's going to step forward. Remember, don't turn sideways. So when I keep, I'll say 1 and we'll all step forward and we'll low block. It looks like this. Don't go yet. Yeah. Remember, protecting my belly. Boom, like that. So from here, you notice I'm stepping, you can see both feet on the side of my target. So from here, ready, 1, and back. Same side, chamber your arms, make sure your arms are together.
Tegan, make sure you step with the same foot as your hands are.
This foot, remember, you're facing me. This is your left side, left hand. 2,
There you go.
This side, we want to make sure we make good habits so this feels right, and the other. And if I did this, it would feel wrong. So from here, 3, and back here, 4,
What's your other arm doing?
and back here, and 5, and back. Okay, we're going to do the other side, same technique. So we need to be. There's no such thing as a right-handed or a left-handed martial artist. The other thing I wanted to point out, we made it too, is I want to do front stance, because that's the stance that's used by camouflage belts and yellow belts the most. When you get to be an orange belt, fighting stance becomes more important, right? Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. This is called Hadan Maki. Everybody say Hadan Maki. That means low block, Hadan low part, Maki block. That's in Korean. This hand on top, this foot steps towards me. Remember, don't turn sideways. Step in, 1, yeah. Look at this hand. This hand's as important as this hand. You notice this hand and this hand are moving the same speed and they're moving quickly. Good. And that's the other thing I want you guys to focus on is time, and I'll show you with the next block. From here, 2. So you see both of my feet and back. Okay. From here, 3. And back. 4. And back. And here, 5. And back. Okay, we're going to move on to inside out block like this. I like inside out block. It's a little bit harder than, in my opinion, than high block. The other thing I want you to work on is what they call timing, right? In other words, if my block happens first, actually, you know what? We'll use a punch for this. I think we'll go to the punch, to a middle punch, because what we see a lot of is we see a lot of this. right? The hand goes out first, but the stance isn't done. Or we see this. It has to all happen at the same time. So before this foot hits, right before it hits, we're going to do what we call breaking chamber, right? This is my chamber. I don't want to break it. It's like an egg. I want to wait till the egg is over the bowl. And the minute it hits, boom, as fast as you can. So, good. Chumbi. We're going to do middle punch. Everybody say chungdan kongkyuk. So chungdan, that means middle part. Kongkyuk. We did hadan, low part, chungdan, middle part, sangdan, high part. So chungdan kongkyuk means like this. This foot steps forward. So when I count, you're going to step. And remember, we're still in a good front stance. We're not going to turn sideways. We'll do that with horse stance. Ready? 1. Wait until your foot hits. And right when your foot hits, your hands move. They switch places as fast as you can. Good. Ready? 2. Sometimes you have to be patient, right? You don't want to start moving your hands before your foot's where it needs to be. 3. 4. And back. 5. And back. So those are middle punches. This is a very good, you'll see me when we're doing this virtually, you'll see me doing this with these Zoom classes. Use this a lot because it's great. It's an opportunity for us. You guys all have pillows at home. We don't have enough targets here for a class of 22 or 23. If it was Tuesday night, basic class, we'd have 20-some people in here, right? We don't have enough targets. You guys can do this on your own at home. So you want to make sure, again, remember, I'm not turned sideways. I'm all facing forward. So from here, aiming, this foot stepping. So it's your right foot and your right hand. And remember, your hands and feet have to switch, boom, all at the same time. Don't be too early with your hands. Good. Okay, so from here, aiming. Ready? 1. And back. Aiming. 2. And back. Aiming. 3. Look at my stance. Good stance. If you look at it from the side, knees bent, back legs straight. I'm pushing it straight. Good. From here, 4. And back. Last one. 5. And back. Okay, we're going to move on to fighting stance. I was trying to figure out the best way to show you guys fighting stance. And what I have to do is I'm going to move this just for a second sideways. So fighting stance, see, the problem is I'm facing away from you. But if I'm doing fighting stance, so from here, you see my feet. The foot that's closest to you is going to turn. So it's right up against this. You see that? And this foot, so now if I turn this around, you can see, so the inside of my back foot is right along the target, and the inside of my front foot is right facing you, okay? So if I look at it, and I've got to turn my back to you to show the other angle. So I step out from here, watch. Boom, like that. You can see this foot parallel with, and again, I'm not getting forward in this, I'm staying back. So now this is an orange belt technique. So like Shiloh and Abiram and some of you guys, you may struggle with this at first. That's fine because everybody struggles with new stuff when they start here. And the only way you get good at it is being determined, right? And consistent. Now you notice also, instead of standing with both feet like this, I'm gonna move like this, so this foot's in the middle. And then this foot's actually coming in. So remember, front stance is not sideways. Fighting stance is kind of sideways. It's more sideways than forward. And the last one we're gonna do is horse stance, and that's gonna be totally sideways. So we're starting facing, front stance, side fighting stance, a little side fighting stance, and all side horse stance. Okay? So now, we're gonna do something, everybody say Sangdan Sudomaki. We did, I'm sorry, not Sangdan. Say Hadan, take that back. Say Hadan Sudomaki. So we did Hadan Maki, which is low block. Hadan Sudomaki just means low block with knife hands. So I'm gonna get closer. Remember, when I make my knife hands, right, I put my fingers together, and then I bend my thumbs at the side. The two things that people do are sometimes they put their thumbs inside, which is no good, and sometimes they keep their thumbs straight up. I bend my fingers at the sides like that, okay? So we're gonna start again on your left side, right here. Make this knife hand. We're gonna do 5 this side, 5 that side, then we'll do 5 horse stance, and then we're gonna play, I'm gonna try the freeze game, okay? So hand goes here. So look, I just pull my hands. So my hands are in Chumbi. I open them up in a knife hands. I pull this one back and put this one in front. I'm gonna turn sideways with that foot and step out low knife. It does the same thing as low block, but it's a different stance right here, okay? So Ready? Like this. Ready? 1. Yeah. I know this is harder for some of the junior belts. Do your best. Trying is what's most important. And from here, remember, hands come back like this. 2. Yeah. And back. Hands like this. 3. Yeah. See, look at, you can see a triangle between my legs here. In other words, I don't want my knees. I want to see space between my knees. But if I step out, you can see my heels are in line with each other, right? So here we go. This side. Ready? 4. Yeah. And 1 more like this. 5. Yeah. And back. Let's try the other side. And again, if I'm going a little fast for the junior belts, I understand. But I also want to make sure that Colin Wolf, Cy Blasi, anybody with an orange belt, Devon, has the chance to work on techniques that are important for them too. Because remember, these techniques are what are important. The patterns are only ways, just different ways to repeat them. So remember, we're going to turn our fists into knives. This hand comes back here. This hand goes in front. We're going to turn this foot sideways and slide this foot out from here. So we make our chamber. Ready? 1. Yeah. And back like this. 2. Yeah.
Master Barnes,
Now.
can we talk about where your not knife hand is real quick?
Ah, yes, thank you, Master Kaufman. That's a very good point, and it's hard to see from face on here like this. Now you notice it's not pulled back here like it was before, so if I'm going right at you, you can see my arm. This is my chest and my belly. It's parallel with, right? So it's not wrapped around behind or in front. It's also not way back here. It's like it's coming, so from here it comes out and up in front of me like that, okay? Thank you, Master Kaufman. Good, so from here, we're on number 3, right? So stepping out, 3. Yeah. Notice you can see my whole arm. If I was doing a low block, regular low block like that, this is different. Our knife hand blocks have that second hand here. Good, okay. 4. Yeah. And last one for knife hand with fighting stance. 5. Yeah. Like that. You can see, this is called fighting stance. It's a bouncier stance. It's much easier to move than this stance, which is kind of heavy. So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do horse stance. Now, you can use the pillow if you want. I'm gonna show you from the side. We're gonna do horse stance punching. So I have to miss it. Yeah, I'm gonna back up. But you see my feet are like that. I don't have my feet in. I have my feet out, and this really isn't wide enough for me. I need to step wider, okay? If I'm coming right at you, though, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start with your left side. I'm gonna start just like I did for front stance. I'm gonna step here, and I'm gonna turn sideways. You notice I'm like a razor blade. I'm very narrow. I'm turned totally sideways. I'm sitting down like that. Okay, 5 aside, and then we're gonna see if we can play the freeze game. I like that, because it's gonna be running in place. Aiming. Ready, 1. Yeah. And back. It's a big step for me. 2. Yeah.
All over, Abiram.
He fell over?
Yes, sir.
Was he stepping over a chair? Aiming. 3.
Really large pillow.
And back. I'll show you what it'd be like if I had a really large pillow in a second. 4. Yeah. Last one, you notice as high as my shoulder right here.
Tegan, make sure you aim with the other hand first.
Notice this.
Punch, Shiloh.
And I'm switching, same thing when we were doing front stance punch. Bang, I switch as fast as I can, but right before my foot hits. And 5. Yeah. And borrow. Now, hold on a second. Here's the problem with a too big pillow. We don't generally see, unless we're in Bryn Mawr, we don't see really puny horse stances, right? Like this. This isn't a horse. I got a dog that's that fat. But if I step too far, my legs are out like this, then I'm really stuck and I've got no balance. And the other thing is it's really hard to bend my knees. I want to make sure, and this really isn't too wide for me, but like that, okay? So if the pillow's too big, you know what you do? If this pillow were too big, you could turn it sideways. So instead of doing it that way, do it that way. Okay, we'll do the other side, and then we're gonna see if we can play the freeze game. I like that. Was that a Baron that came up with that? That's really good. I didn't think about that. Good. Aiming. This foot stepping. 1. Yeah, turn sideways. So you're looking sideways, my chin over my shoulder. This is your right shoulder. And back. Aiming. 2. Yeah. And back. I got to step back so you can see my feet better. Good. That should do it. Good. Here we go. From here. 3. Yeah. See how my feet aren't pointing forward? I've got them sideways. Good. Back. Aiming. 4. Yeah. And back. Aiming. 5. Yeah. And back. Good. Borrow. Back to ready position. Attention. Bow. Say kamsamnida. Tungsu. So I'm going to kick that out of here. Now, in order to play the freeze game, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to give this a try. When I say go, I'm going to unmute you guys.
Get them at the back of the room.
No.
Unmuted.
You're going to run in place. You can run in place, right? You can run in place.
Yes, I can.
When I say freeze, you got to stop and stand still. If you move, you know what? If you move, you should probably have to go into push-up position for one cycle, right? So if you move when you're not supposed to, I didn't say do push-ups. I said push-up position. So get back where we can see you. Back a little bit.
Go back.
Okay, remember, go means go and freeze means freeze. We're going to try it regular first, running in place, because if I see you come crashing into the computer like that, it's going to be a bad deal. Okay, running, go, go. Run, go. Run, Shiloh. Freeze. Don't move. I saw, Nimish is still moving. Go fish. Oh, I got, Blaine, you got to drop into push-up position for one round. Ready, go.
Get up there, I can see it.
Freedom! Oh, I got a ton of you there. Freeze! Up you go, Blaine, up you go, Blaine, up you go, Blaine. Good. Go! Run, 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 run. Colin, run!
A Biram run.
Peter, what are you doing? French fries! Frozen! Freeze! A beer moving. Goldfish!
You say goldfish.
Gopher!
Gopher.
Gold! Go! What a team, got a team play. Freeze!
How long is one round?
It's almost over. Ms. Littenbooth, she's got to go in push-up position.
No pushing.
Gopher pile! Oh, go!
Silly arms, silly arms, silly arms.
There you go, Shy. Stop! Oh, I got a bunch of you. It's not the stop game. I got Blaine too. Run, you crazy people. Okay, Faro. Good job, you guys. By the way, I think that was a Biram's idea, but whoever's idea that was awesome. You guys did great, and it gives me a chance to torture you virtually.
They already stopped.
Let's play that again.
Okay. So
I can see you in the thing.
we've only got a couple more minutes. Is there anything specific? Sai, we're not doing Tiger Set until the next class. Is there anything specific you guys want to work on?
Yes, please.
Scoring like 1 to 4.
We did 1 steps 1 to 4 last week.
Master Barnes,
Yes, ma'am.
double basic block set.
Ooh, let's try it. Now,
No.
that's a good, Sai Blasi.
Yes.
If we were to vote somebody most likely to have Master Barnes come over and try to virtually strangle you, a student. I'm kidding, Sai.
Do you even know that it's my birthday week today?
What?
My birthday's 2 days from now.
Happy early birthday. If I see you Thursday, then I promise not to say happy birthday.
Hey.
I'm kidding. Okay, hold on. So we're gonna do double basic block set, which is all we're gonna do. Is we're basically gonna take it's similar to it's a combination of star block and basic block set. So we'll do once one side and once the other. So hold on, I'm gonna mute you guys, and you're gonna have to back up. Now you can shuffle in place. I'll explain it in a minute. Okay, so obviously I have enough room here. So if I step out and I do double low block like this, right? Double high block like this, double inside block like this, double outside block like that. Okay, and I'm sorry, my chair's in the way and my towel's there. Now, if you don't have enough room to take 4 big steps forward, you watch, I'll stand right here in the blue, 1 foot in the blue, 1 foot in the red, right? And I'll step forward and I'll do double low block. Then I'll cross my arms and I'll shuffle double high block, right? And then I'll cross my arms and I'll shuffle double inside block. So you get 2 steps like that. So we'll do this leg first once, and we'll do this leg first once. So everybody 2 knee. Now remember, we're going to use those good front stances we were working on. We're not going to turn sideways. Both of my arms need to be as close to you, one as the other. In other words, I can't have one closer and one farther like that, okay? So say double basic blocks, and turn! Crossing like this, both hands up. This foot, big step towards me, low block, 1. Good, now cross your arms down here, not just your wrists. Cross your arms, step forward, double high block, 2. Remember, just like star block. Bring them down. We're doing inside out block. Step forward, crossing them, inside out block. 3. Now watch, I'm going to pull both hands back. I'm going to shuffle, otherwise my feet will disappear. Stepping double outside in block. Yeah, cross like that. Slide up, tongue su. So we're using front stances and a lot of star block. Good, okay, everybody 2 knee. Good. Say double basic blocks, it's her. So now we're crossing like this. We're stepping with this foot. This foot, big step forward, double low block. Good. Now I'm going to cross my arms. I'm going to step forward, double high block. Crossing my arms, stepping forward, double inside out block. Back like this, little shuffle, double outside block with a key up. Cross them, yeah, like scissors. Slide up, tongue su. Good, and back up quickly. Good, okay. Everybody, face here. Pay attention. Now, say 감사합니다. tongue su. Now, we could do some exercise. Let's try, we're going to try 10 of these. What you're going to do, you're going to start on your back, and I can't really see from there. Okay, I'm going to keep my feet up. I'm going to raise them up, touch, and then put them back down. If you can't do it, I'm going to do it with my feet off the ground the whole time. If you can't do it, that's fine. So that's the hardest way. Up and up is 1, right? An easier way would be to start with them down, then raise them up and up. An even easier way, so there's an in-between way, which is you bend your knees in and put them up, right? And then the easiest way of all is you just start here and you pull your knees up like that, okay? So we're gonna do 10 of them. It's gonna be up, up, that'll be the count, right? So remember, hardest, straight legs. Second hardest, bend and raise. Third hardest, put your feet down and start with them down every time. And then fourth hardest would just be start like this, okay? So from here, my legs are straight, ready, up, up. That's 1, and I bring them down. Up, up. That's 2, and I bring them down. Up, up. That's 3, and I bring them down. Up, up. That's 4, and I bring them down. Up, up. That's 5, and I bring them down. Up, up. 6, and I bring them down. Up, up. 7, and I bring them down. Up, up. 8, and I bring them down. Up, up. 9, and I bring them down. And 1 more. Up, up. 10, and I bring them down. Good. Make your belly burn. Good. Okay, turn on fixed uniforms, please. Turn back around to attention. Face your feet together. Attention. Can you bow? Say 감사합니다. tongue su. Now again, remember, Ms. Linda and Master Coughlin are on this call. They're not here with me, but we're going to pretend like they're standing right in front of the screen because you can see them. Let's face both of them, please. Cheerio. Can you bow? Say 감사합니다. tongue su. Remember, we want to conduct ourselves like we were standing here in the karate school. We want to show proper respect in terms of the way we act, in terms of making sure we do good, solid bows, and I'm going to take you guys off of mute. We're all back. So listen, you guys keep doing a great job. Uh-oh, Shiloh's getting her stripe. Good for her. She did a great job today. So we're going to be tallying attendance. I think I told people on Saturday, we're keeping track of everybody's attendance. And we're still trying to figure out the best way to promote, whether we go through the whole process of trying to set up a virtual belt test, or whether we just promote people.
Virtual belt test.
Sai, if I want your opinion, you don't want to know what I'll do. Either a virtual belt test, or we may just count your attendance and watch your effort. Okay? If you're trying hard, if you're attending regularly, it may not make sense to try and coordinate everybody for one time where they can have a belt test, and we don't know exactly how that would work. So we'll figure that out. We'll figure it out in the next week, and we'll let you guys know. But I've seen all of you regularly on these calls, and that is really important to us, right? And like I said, aside from worrying that the O'Donnells are going to come back with their faces all smushed up like this. No, it's been great. It's great to see you guys, and I'm really impressed with you guys coming to these classes regularly. You did a great job. I hope you had a good time, and if you come back on Thursday, I'm going to be hiding somewhere else.
And
Find me. Shiloh got me this time. I'm going to see who gets me on Thursday. So thank you guys. Yes, Nimish, what?
If we're a little late to class, do we still get credit? Like, every Tuesday I have another class, like, right before this one, so.
Nimish, we
If
start
we're
a
a little late-
stopwatch, and if you're not there when we hit the button, we assume you're dead to us. Yes, Nimish, you get credit for being on the call. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm teasing. Yes, absolutely. Showing up. Mr. Z's here, and he's watching all you guys. Master Coughlin and Ms. Lintner too.
No.
See Mr. Z, you see him right there? He's watching.
Watching that one.
He's watching you guys.
Mr. Copeland, watch her that one.
I see.